Hello, podcast community. I am so glad to bring you this special midweek episode to celebrate being grateful. Thanksgiving is coming up this Thursday, and many people here in the United States are going to be gathering to celebrate Thanksgiving, which is essentially a time when we get together and remember to be thankful and remember the things uh, that we have that's good in this world and take a moment to be with the other people that we love. And I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk with you guys because this has been quite a year. And when people get together for Thanksgiving this year, it is going to look a little different. But we can still choose how we walk forward in that day and every day. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do is make the choice of how you're going to walk forward in this very special day. Now, if you're coming to me from another part of the country, then you know all about celebrations. Whatever your next celebration is, anyone that's had a big celebration in their home knows that there's a possibility of disaster because you can build up your expectations that things are going to be so wonderful. And then a little thing goes wrong here or something goes wrong there and it seems to unravel. And sometimes, especially if you're the host or especially if you invested a lot in it, it can drag you down. And I'm going to tell you that don't let this holiday go by and at the end of it all feel dragged down because of the surroundings around you. If there's anything that we've learned through this pandemic is that in spite of the surroundings around us, we can find peace, we can find joy, we can find the good, we can find the things that we've done with our family that's amazing, and the times when we've been able to bond together. We can focus on that. And this holiday will be exactly that same way. Those of you that are listening specifically from Australia, I want to thank you very much. Am grateful for all of you. This last month, week after week, I've been able to rank in the top 10 in Australia for the kids and family category of this wonderful podcast community. And that is quite a privilege for me. And I want to just say hi. I am sure that it has something to do with Andy McNeely when he was our guest a few weeks back on episode 26. He's the author of Connecting with Your Kids, and that was an amazing episode. And I thank him as well because I think that him being on definitely boosted up the listening in Australia. And I honestly couldn't tell you what you guys' next holiday is, but whatever it is, this rings true. I think of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And habit number 2 is begin with the end in mind. That can serve you, or it can also, if you begin with the end in mind too much, then you have these expectations like we talked about that are outrageous and high. And so no, we don't want to walk in with expectations that can be crushed, but we can begin with the end in mind as far as our attitude and choose to have an attitude of gratitude every moment as we progress. And I know that's what I'm going to do. Definitely. We're having a very quiet Thanksgiving at home with just the 5 of us on Thanksgiving Day. And it's going to be really special because honestly, I don't think that's ever happened. So I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. I was thinking about those 7 habits, and um, I had a guest come on back in episode 14, Trevor Dietrich, and he is, by all practical purposes, an expert in the 7 habits, and he brings them into grade schools. And in that episode, we talked about beginning with the end in mind and how that's important for kids too, and coming together as a family and discussing how Thanksgiving is going to go, how the holiday is going to be, what's important to each one of them. Is there something special that they want to do that has to do with the tradition, or maybe they want to try something new? It's a really great opportunity before the holiday to choose to do that. So everyone in the family has a little input on how things are going. As I was preparing to do this podcast right here and now, I I'll admit it, kind of lollygagged a little bit and decided to do some other things. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to listen to my friend Shelly Davis and her Piano Parent podcast. I love that podcast because it's just so uplifting. And wouldn't you know it, she did her most recent episode on being thankful, episode 218. You guys should check it out. Decide to be thankful even in 2020. And she, right in the middle of the podcast, I remember she was talking about how things might be different this year. And she said, like when you're watching the parade, wait a minute, you might not watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. And it was such a great moment of realization that she had to think, yeah, things are going to be different. I need to plan something else besides getting up and watching the parade like we always do. So we recognize that things might be different, but a lot of things are the same. The people that you're sharing your time with, whether it's from a distance, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's the people that are in your very home, those special moments matter. And Shelly Davis pointed that out so very well as well, and because she recognized in that moment and even throughout the podcast talking about, hey, we got this. It's important that we acknowledge what was lost, but more than that, that we choose, like the topic said, to be thankful. And it reminded me of that attitude of gratitude. We need to be grateful every day for the little and big things as we walk forward. I know last Thanksgiving was a special Thanksgiving for us. And I remember thinking that, wow, we got through this year. I'm so glad that we're getting closer to walking into a new phase. Of course, not knowing what the next year would bring to all of us in the whole wide world with our wonderful COVID. Um, but the reason why I was thinking about that is because my mom had gotten in an awful car accident the Mother's Day before that Thanksgiving. And so awful, in fact, that she had been in rehabilitation and living with my sister and completely unable to, for much of the time, get up, let alone travel. She had bones broken from her neck all the way to her legs, and the insides were a mess. And Thanksgiving, my mom got to come and stay with us last year. It was the very first time in 7 months that she had been able to travel an hour and a half from my sister's house to mine and stay at our house. And, we have stairs, which was unhealthy. The doctor said, okay, she can go up the stairs if she's very careful. We had to clear all this for her to come. And it was so meaningful for me just to have my mom there. You have to understand that she was at our house nearly every single day before the accident. But Thanksgiving was different last year because we were kind of like, I hosted Thanksgiving, but not in your traditional sense. It was like many family members were going off to their in-laws and traveling. And since we weren't, we were kind of like the misfit of Thanksgivings. Well, if you don't have any place to go on Thanksgiving, come on over. And we had my father-in-law and we had my mother-in-law and then we had my mom. And I thought, oh, that's all it's going to be. Well, then our pass here in California going from our area up to the high desert, it can get very snowy and it can close. I know Southern California, what? It never gets cold there. Yes, it does. There are parts that do. And through that pass, there was a horrible storm. And my sister, her husband, and her 4 kids were planning on going up to the high desert for Thanksgiving. Well, last minute, she calls us and says, no can do. The pass is going to be closed. If it is open and we do get up there, we're going to be stuck up there. And so last minute, they came on over too. And it was great. We did a quick trip to the store, grabbed some more food, and we all just got together. Had a wonderful time celebrating Thanksgiving. And we played a game that I call Best, Worst, Last, First. I actually got it from a book that I was reading at the time, Storyworthy. And I don't remember the author right now, but it's a great book. I was studying at that time and fine-tuning my storytelling skills. And this was a game that he talks about in that book that kind of helps people think of stories, because sometimes it's hard to spark your memory of a story. And basically, I sat everybody down, this hodgepodge group of people that were from both sides of the family. And I said, here's the deal. We're going to go around and you're going to tell me either a memory that you have about a vacation or a memory that you have about a holiday. Your choice. You're going to tell, and the way that you're going to tell it is you're going to tell us the best memory, the worst memory, the last memory, or the first memory. See, now the memory's thinking, the mind is thinking, and the mind can kind of think, oh, yeah, I remember that. We had some amazing stories. We laughed. It was great. And I highly recommend that. If you guys are having a low key Thanksgiving, that's a great game to break the ice and not get too heavy. But it was sweet. And I actually have a Thanksgiving memory that came from 19 that I'll probably tell this story over and over. Here I am hosting, and we're cooking, and everything smells delicious. The turkey's almost ready. My father in law gets here. He walks through and gets his coffee like he always does. And all of a sudden, though, I thought, what did he bring? I don't know. Something smells odd. It smells awful. It got worse and worse. And all of a sudden, I looked down on my kitchen floor, and he had walked in and through my kitchen and out the other side with his coffee with dog poop on his feet. So on Thanksgiving Day, I have dog poop all over my kitchen floor. I'm like, get out, everybody, clean it up. And I'll always remember that feeling. I'll always remember how I felt. I don't know about everyone else. I was mortified and completely freaked out. But it's a funny memory looking back at it, because when does that ever happen? So remember the things that happen this year as well, because they might go down in the memory books as an amazing Thanksgiving or just an hilarious memory. Try and remember the little things. And as much as you begin with the end in mind, also end with reflection and allowing your mind to remember the little things like that that were funny, cute, special. That's the way that we really make good memories. Not by having high expectations and then feeling defeated if one thing doesn't go right. Rather to say, yes, we're going to prepare. Yes, we're going to talk about it. But then as we walk through that day, we're going to choose our vibe that we're going to walk through with, and that's going to be based on our values. If you value being a peacemaker, then choose to be a peacemaker, even if other people aren't. If you value making sure that conversation is positive, that there's not gossiping, then be prepared to walk away from conversations if need be. If you value fun and that there's going to be excitement, then plan that fun and excitement. Whatever that might be, walk into this Thanksgiving with that type of attitude, and you're sure to have such an amazing memory to walk away from. And I know shopping has a lot to do with it. So, I'll probably be looking at the deals and seeing what's out there. And I do have to tell you that, as most of you know, I'm an affiliate partner with the Big Life Journal. The Big Life, they have tons and tons of products. The Big Life Journal, the white one for kids, is for the younger ones. And then there's a blue one that's for the older kids, says Big Life Journal. And they're having a sale. They're having a sale this whole week. And what I'd love for you guys to do is use my affiliate link when you shop. You can go to my website, thefocusedmindset.com, and look for my link that says the Big Life Journal, or just scroll to the bottom of my homepage, and I have a little area for parents to click right there and do their shopping. And they're just wonderful. There's games, family games, mindfulness cards. I have been so I've just absolutely enjoyed their products so much, and feel like it's just a privilege this week, something I'm grateful for, that I've been able to be an affiliate partner with them to push out such a great product to all of you. And so hop over there, because you get buy one, get 50% off. That's an incredible deal, especially if you have a few kids and you want to be able to get something special. The Big Life Journal teaches your child resilience. It teaches your child how to have a growth mindset while giving them easy to follow prompts that they can write, because whenever we write something down, it's proven it's actually 30% more likely that we'll remember something when we don't only say it, but we write it down. So this book gives us plenty to read about having a growth mindset, but also allows our children to reflect and write down. And whether you have the Big Life Journal or not, like I said, reflect at the end of the day. Remember the fun stories that happen. Write them down so you don't forget them, and tell them again, because they'll just get sweeter and more special as the years go on. And I am just really thankful and grateful for all of you in the podcast that are listening right now. It's been quite a journey opening up my own podcast, being that I am not tech savvy in the least bit. But it's something that I felt really called to do. And if you have a calling that you know is in your heart, that you really want to do to help people to bring some type of joy to this world, I just want to really encourage you, go for it. It's so rewarding and so special. And it's you guys, my listeners, that have made this podcast special. The feedback I get from you when you guys go on my website and leave me a voice message, and the many people that have been able to come alongside me and join the Focused Mindset community. Many times I say you're never alone with the Focused Mindset community, and I mean that, because we are in this parenting and this journey of family life together. And learning how to be solution focused has long time in the past been saved for the psychotherapists of this world and the counselors and the people that are uh, doing that type of work. But now we realize that having a solution focused mindset is something that each and every one of us can learn to take with us. That no longer are we focusing on problems as much as we're saying, yes, there's problems in this world, but I'm going to choose to look towards the solutions, towards the future, towards the hope. And when you do that on purpose, it becomes a positive habit for not only you, but it catches other people, start catching this, and it grows like wildfire, because people want to have hope, especially when things get mixed up and people feel unsure. So let's move forward with this Thanksgiving and just have a blast. I'm actually putting out another podcast on Thursday, like I normally do. And on Thursday of this week, you're going to hear Ben Furman. He's from Finland. He is a solution focused expert, the founder of the Kids Skills, and he's a therapist. He is just really knowledgeable on solution focused. I mean, one of the more, how do I say, like, he seems deep like a grandpa, but at the same point he has a very calming voice, and he just has quite a way of explaining how to move forward with your kids. It's just encouraging. You guys are going to love it. So hop on back with us on Thanksgiving while you're doing the dishes or whatever. Stick on your headphones, listen to our podcast, and until next time, keep in touch and take care.